Hi, Eric.
Hello.
Hello, good evening, everybody. My name is Mike Lebrun. We're going to be starting here in 1 minute because it is recorded, and now it's recorded on live Facebook and also on YouTube. So I'm pretty excited. We have it on 2 or 3 different social media. You're going to hear from some incredible people that are using CHAT GPT in their business. You're going to hear from 4 or 5 people that are having some really incredible traction with CHAT GPT. We're even going to share with you some examples. We'll ask if anybody has any questions. But the biggest thing that I want all of you to get here is practice. The more you go on CHAT GPT, which is openai.com, the website, it's going to it gets easier and simpler. And the more you do it, and the more you try different things, and you're going to hear people that have tried different things and post different things. It could give you a million ideas in the next 30 days. I'm serious. It produces things in a matter of minutes. We have a lot of fun with it, and people enjoy using it and using it on social media. So those of you that are on Facebook Live right now, if you're listening to this live, please put L for live and your name and the city and country you're listening to this. If you're doing R for recording, if you're listening to the recording, please recording, and also your name, the city, and the country that you live in. So it is 7:01. We are going to start with a very dear friend of mine. This is Silver Associate, Mr. John Hobbs. John, his background is IT. And I'm going to say that he's been retired now for several years, has gone back to his hometown of, is it Arnprior? Arnprior, yep. Right? Yep. Arnprior. And you always go back to your roots, right? Well, he's gone back to his roots, let me tell you. And he's going to share with you his wisdom of how he's using CHAT GPT. So, John Hobbs, why don't you take the computer screen away and share example, and you can ask people if they've got questions. Really relax and let's have fun with this.
Okay. I want to share 4 chats I've had with GPT, and each one of them to illustrate something. So I've signed on here, and I'm hoping everybody can see what's going on. Here's one that says target market overview. That's the name of the chat here. And it says, hello, GPT. I've seen the term target market as a means to provide focus for business building efforts. Please give me an overview of generally what's meant by that term. And so GPT comes back with, it took about 3 seconds to come back with this description. And then I said, okay, thanks, GPT. I've been wrestling with the concept for my own business. I've found it to be a little challenging. I've developed a document that seems to address the intent of target market, and I'm going to reproduce it here. And it says, sure, please feel free to do that. And then I had a Word document that talked about my niche, and I just copied and pasted it in there. And GPT gave me some feedback about that. Again, just a few seconds. And then, thanks, GPT. That was very helpful. Do you have any suggestions for social media activities that would attract people to my niche? And it came up with a bunch of ideas, 5 particularly. And I said, one of them was leveraging influencers. And I said, hey, GPT, item 3, you talked about influencers. Please tell me more about that. And it gave me a whole bunch of stuff about influencers. And so this is idea generation. It's really powerful. You can go places with that. Now, here's one where I said, thank you for your recent help. First, a question. What can you tell me about lead magnets? You've heard the term lead magnets. Well, what the hell is a lead magnet? Well, it came back very quickly with, here's what a lead magnet is. And then I said, now, you notice I say, thank you, GPT. You address GPT as though it was a person. Now, this is important. Consider it a person, give it a name. I've called it GPT. You could use CHAT GPT. Say please and thank you. What it does is it gives you a mindset that you're dealing with a person. So I said, thank you, GPT. You recall our prior conversations about business and target market. I'm looking to generate leads for my network marketing business. Can you help me come up with some personalized messages and post ideas that will attract ideal prospects? And it came back with personalized message templates, post ideas, and just bang like that.
Hey, John, can you go back to that one? Because that is very, very interesting. I don't know if people are picking this up, but this is really interesting.
Okay, so let me read it. You recall our prior conversation about my business target market. I'm looking to generate leads for my network marketing business. Can you help me come up with some personalized messages and post ideas that will attract ideal prospects? And it says, sure, I'd be happy to help. Here's 3 personalized messages that you could use. And it says, hi, prospect name. And it said, notice that you're interested in whatever the related topic is and so forth. It gives you just message templates. And then it gives me some post ideas. I said, thanks, GPT, and let me go on to something else. Now, some of you have seen my post on creativity. Well, let's go here. Now, I started off this chat with, I'm looking to build, manage a successful network marketing business. Can you give me, come up with help about strategies for recruiting new distributors? And it says, of course, and it gives me 7 strategies, okay? Now, here's something that you need to bear in mind. Then I went and changed topics. What I should have done is started a new chat, because the chats are all here. They've got names assigned based on what's in the chat. CHAT GPT will assign a name and you can go in and edit the name. But I didn't do that. I said, thank you, GPT. And now would you please prepare a draft post for Facebook on the topic of creativity? Use as a basis the Steve Jobs quote, creativity is just connecting things, yada, 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 as you saw. And it came back very quickly. Here is a draft post. Now, the thing is that what it did was it stuck in front of the post the actual quote. And then I said, well, would you please redo that employing hashtags and perhaps some emojis? So here it came back with emojis scattered throughout and hashtags. And then I said, okay, thanks, GPT. Now take the original creativity post draft and prepare a version for LinkedIn. So it did that, and you'll see it's quite different. And then, thank you, GPT. Now a challenge for you. Please come up with a version for Mastodon. Do not include, this is important. You need to be specific in your instructions to GPT, because you saw in those previous ones that it included the quote. And I realized that I wasn't going to include the quote in the text of the post because I was going to have an image of the quote. So, and I said, now please come up with a version for Mastodon. Well, the interesting thing about Mastodon is that it's kind of like Twitter, and you've got a 500 character limit for any post. So I said, do not include the original quote. Presume the quote will be in an attached image. Please include a few relevant hashtags. So it came up with a post for Mastodon. Notice how short it is. And it's well within the 500 character limit. Okay, so it knows about Mastodon. So that's that one.
John, is Mastodon a social media? I don't even know what that means.
It's a social media platform that's kind of like Twitter.
Okay, how many people have heard of that? Because I haven't heard. Raise your hand if you've heard of it.
Okay.
No. I've never heard of it, John.
All right. But there's a challenge with Mastodon.
Yep.
There's no algorithm.
Okay.
And so you don't get stuff fed to you with the algorithm. Okay.
Okay.
What you have to do is create relationships with people in other ways. And it's a real challenge. I don't expect I'm going to get any prospects out of Mastodon.
Yep.
I'm just playing with it.
Yep.
But one of the things the 500 character limit is forcing me to do is forcing me to be more focused in my writing. 500 characters is not much.
No, it's not.
Right? So that's why I'm playing with Mastodon, but I expect to get no traffic out of it at all. This is just an experiment. Okay, now the final one I want to talk to you about is I wanted CHAT GPT to give me a draft article on the topic of quiet quitting. Okay. So I said, okay, CHAT GPT, would you please give me an explanation of the term quiet quitting? Now, this is where you need to be extraordinarily careful. You need to understand that CHAT GPT is far from perfect. It will give you lousy results from time to time. And it says quiet quitting refers to a situation where employees leave their job without making a formal announcement or without causing any disturbance or disruption. Rather than giving their employer a resignation letter, they just disappear. Okay. Now, I knew that was not true. And in fact, let me share something else with you. Here is, can everyone see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
This is a screenshot of an article from the Anchorage Daily News in Alaska, dated August 22nd, 22. Gone are the days when employers could count on employees competing to go above and beyond to rise faster in their organization. Employers now face quiet quitting, a trend that emerged in July 2022 from a viral TikTok video that became a phenomenon known on Wikipedia and Forbes and Wall Street. Now, the point I want to make here is that we're using CHAT GPT 3. CHAT GPT 3 has a database that only goes up to the end of 2021. And so when I asked it about quiet quitting, it hadn't a clue about what the new term meant. And it was, I gave it a few hints and it gave me some draft stuff, but it was essentially crap. I couldn't use it. So the thing is, GPT-3 only goes to the end of 2021. Now, GPT-4 is available as an upgrade. And if you look down here in the lower left corner, it says upgrade to plus. Now, if I click that and upgraded, it would give me a subscription for $20 a month to CHAT GPT-4. Now, CHAT GPT-4 is much more powerful than GPT-3, but it also has access to the web. So, for example, you could do things like point it at a website and say, give me suggestions for improving this website, and it would do that. Okay. The thing is that CHAT GPT-3 is perfectly adequate for 90% of what you want to do in your network marketing business. So unless I really wanted to get some expert help beefing up one of my websites or something, I wouldn't pay the $20 a month. That's just me. But I wanted you to be aware of those differences. So I've taken up a chunk of time, Mike. I think I'm going to stop my share unless people have questions while I'm here.
Yes, John. Sorry. Yeah, John. So let's say that with just the example that you shared with us from the Alaska newspaper,
yeah.
If you're on CHAT GPT-4, it will have come up with a different meaning for the quiet quitting, right?
Yeah, it would come up with a different definition for quiet quitting because it would be up to date.
Yeah. Okay, makes sense. Because you said this CHAT GPT-3 goes up to what, 2021 or 22?
And end of 2021, I understand.
End of 2021. Okay.
Other questions?
All right.
Okay, I'm going to stop share.
No problem. Thank you, John Hobbs. All right, so let me share my screen. And Lynn, Lynn, can you talk? Lynn.
Hi.
All right, I'm going to share my screen here. All right, hold on. Let's share my screen. CHAT GPT. See, notice that I opened my screen, and as soon as I opened my screen, it opened it up to the page that Lynn and I have together. And on the right-hand side, on the left-hand side, it has all, and you can see I can press more, show more, and then it shows again previous 30 days. So we've got hundreds of stuff that Lynn and I have done, and we've got one account so that whenever, and the reason we have one account is because sometimes you say, oh, which account is it on? Oh, where did you find that? So at least we have one, and that's what we go on to. So let me do this. I'm going to share with you. So this is CHAT GPT. This is when you want to start a new chat. Let me just hide this. I apologize here. I got to hide this so you see the bottom of the screen. Hold on. Okay, all right, it's hidden now. So you see where it says, oh, I'm going to get, hold on a second. I need to get out of here. Hide floating controls. All right. Now you got it. So it says send messages. This is where you would write anything. So I'm going to share an example. Okay. You could share, you could ask it, and you could ask it anything, but I'm going to show you how fast it is. Okay. So top 10. Oh, so top 10 network marketing tips. Top 10 network marketing tips. All right. So I go like this. It writes, and then it chooses the top 10. So some of you, I know that, some of you might say, okay, well, I want to do video, and you could do a short video, you could do a long video, you want to go do a live video, or you could just do a post and say, this is the top 10 why you want to join network marketing. Okay. As you notice, while I was doing this, this is about 30 seconds. It was done. Now, of course, this is, you're going to have to correct it. Not necessarily will it be 100% correct. Okay. But by you correcting it, what's going to happen? Hold on a second. There's somebody that, if you're not talking, please put yourself on mute, okay, just in case. And so when you take a look at this, you read it, and if it makes sense, post it. If you have to adjust it, adjust it. But do you see how fast I did that? I did this. So I want somebody brand new. I want somebody that's on this call to share with me something that I could put in there about Max. If you can, type it into the chat, and then I'm going to show you after. So Lynn, where do you want to go now?
Mike,
go ahead.
Just a moment. I just wanted to point out, you notice that as soon as CHAT GPT finished giving you the 10, it applied a name to the chat.
Yep, right
up
here.
in the upper left, net marketing tips, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So it invents one, and then you can change it later if you want.
And how you change it, guys, is you got to press here, right here, where the pen is, or you can dump it in the garbage. Okay, because often if I don't see that the search wasn't good, I dump it right away. I only keep the ones that I use very often. And here's the thing, this regenerate response is always there. So you don't have to think about it. I say regenerate a response is going to regenerate another response. And some of them are going to be the same, some of them are not. So you can utilize, you could copy and paste and put it in an Excel spreadsheet and take what you want, throw out what you don't want. But can you imagine how good you can be? But what I like about this is that, that if you're doing a video on TikTok, or if you're doing a video on Instagram, that you can do on Instagram 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, or 90 seconds. For me personally, I love the 90-second videos on Instagram. So if I'm going to do 90 seconds, I'm going to say, hey, how you doing? It's Mike Lebrun, blah, 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 blah. I want to give you 3 tips why joining network marketing. I want to give you 5 tips of why joining network marketing. And I'll literally have this on my computer. I will have read it 2-3 times. And then I'll put my phone right beside where you see my finger right now. I'll put my phone right here. And then I'll be reading, and you think I'm looking at the camera, because my computer is right there. My 4K camera is above my computer. And so I can put my camera on a box of Kleenex, and people swear that I'm looking at the camera, but really I'm reading. Okay. So really practice makes perfect, but remember that it doesn't have to be perfect. And so you could literally, now in the month of May, I'm going to tell you, I wanted to share this with you now. My goal is every 2 days to go live and talk about a topic and bring 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 tips of something so that people can bring value. And here's the way I do it. Some of you might do it different ways, but the way I do it is I like to do it from my phone, no, from my internal phone. I don't like to do it like on TikTok, and then they say you go on this video clips and you take out the watermarks. I'm not a techie guy. So I make it really simple so the people that I mentor and coach, they do the same thing as I do. I do the video on my regular phone. Boom, I do it for 35 seconds, 40 seconds, 60 seconds, 90 seconds, and then I put it across my social media. The only place where I'll share is I'll share across my Facebook post, but then I'll put it on Instagram. I will put it on TikTok. I will put it on LinkedIn. I will put it on YouTube Short. So I put all those things, but it's one video that I did in the morning. As you can see, my black shirt, I did 3 today. So some of you must have seen some of my posts. But if I'm going to do more than 3 video, I just change shirts. I'll put a blue one, I'll put a beige one, but I do them all the same day, and I save them. And so if at a day that I'm on the road, I'm delivering product, I'm doing something, I'm busy, I can just go, not in my archive, but on my videos, and I just go across and flip it across. Like I said, every 2 days, but every day I try to post something, post a quote, post something on there. And again, like John said, like everybody's going to tell you that's using it right now, it's really about really practicing. So Lynn, what do you want to share, and where do you want me to press here? I know you've got a lot of stuff that you might want to show to people.
I technically can't see what's on the screen. It's too small on my phone.
Okay.
But
okay.
They technically, what I really loved about this is really that it's really an open library. It really is. Like whatever questions you may have or anything. We used to look up information on encyclopedias. Then we went to Google, and now we can basically go on AI for anything you want to know about. You can go for recipes. You can go for how to do a horse pasture, and how many posts you need for this, or a question gearing towards the industry that you work in, or even with Max. Like the information that John had was fabulous, that he can actually flip that and use the exact information or tweak it to make it geared towards your Max business. You can expand on, for me, it was the knowledge of the certain ingredients that we have, why we have those ingredients. I know some of it is explained on the website, but I wanted more details on certain things. So I looked that up and see why we have these ingredients. So I can easily more explain. I don't have the knowledge that John has. So, and why the purpose we use it in our products to help our bodies. So for me, it's basically just for knowledge, but I will use it, and I have been using it quite a few months ago just to make leadership trainings. And when we travel, I don't have my stuff here that I have here at home, but I could look up on AI and ask for whatever information I had that will not have the exact same information that I had here at home, but at least it gives me something that I can work with and create with. So, but I'm going to look up on how to create better presentations for PowerPoints. That is something I'm going to be my next thing to look up, and so I can better present or better, I guess, create the actual presentation so that it is more to the point, less words, and more in bullet point form.
And Lynn, don't forget, when we did her bio, when we went to Bogota, just share with people what you did with her bio.
Well, I had created our bio. We had one already created, but I wanted it, they wanted something more in details. And so I actually typed the whole, well, I copied and pasted into the AI, and it came out, and I said, this is for someone to present about myself and my partner. And so it geared the information towards like past tense or first tense, or towards, like, it could be towards a female, or it could be geared towards the male that you want to talk to. So it's like, it's really cool how to, but like John said, you have to be specific on that. Yeah, the more you tell it what you want, the more it'll be more specific to your needs. And
You
so
know,
it was fun.
That's
Yeah.
really
Well,
important, Lynn. The other thing that's important is punctuation. Because if you have a big run-on sentence, it's going to interpret it in perhaps 3 or 4 different ways. But if you add punctuation, it's clearer.
absolutely.
And like you said, for also, you said with the social media that you're working with, it only had 500 words, right? But you can
500 characters, I would have been fine with
characters,
500 words.
Letters, 500
you know,
letters.
Yeah,
letters. Well, that's even worse. But you can be specific in how many words. You can want 1,000 word essay or something. On so that, like I said, the more specific you are with what you want, it could spit it out really quickly.
It's like this. This morning I was talking to everybody here. Just show of hands. Who's been using it? Just show of hands. Who's been using it? Okay, so all right, perfect. A few of you have been, all right, perfect, Abby. I love it. And Eric, of course, he's been using it. And so the more you use it, the easier it becomes. So let's go to Monique Montgomery. Monique, when did you start using it?
Actually, I've been so busy. This morning.
Okay.
Actually, I tried to create an account. Just I think 2 days after we talked about it last Monday, but it was too busy. I couldn't get in. I tried twice. I couldn't get in. So yesterday I was able to get in. I created my account. And today I thought, what am I going to ask it? Because I'm just practicing, right? And I have a calendar with daily quotes, and some of them are good. Some of them you can't use. So the one I had in front of me was a Walt Disney one. And it said, if you can dream it, you can do it. And so I said, could you expand on this Walt Disney quote? And I typed it in. Oh my God. Like I was shocked. Like within like 10 seconds, it had this really big thing, which I actually posted on my Facebook. Now it did put the quote in it because I didn't have a picture. I could have, I suppose, taken a picture and did like John and say, don't include the quote, but I'm not that sophisticated with it yet. But I was pretty amazed.
Here, Monique, here's what I did for you. So I did dreams into achievement. That's what I called it. And I asked the same question as you. If you can dream it, you can do it. And I said, can you write me similar quotes? So it gave me 10 insane one. I love it. So thanks to you, I love it. I was sharing this to my Spanish team. So they like, oh my God. And then I said, then you just go regenerate. But look at this, when you regenerate, because you're already in Spanish, I wanted to show you guys, it continues. You have to tell it, oh, regenerate in English. So you just have to put in the send message, regenerate in English. And it gives you messages after messages after messages. In fact, one of my guys that was in Ecuador, we had Joe Vuitiki on our call. After the call, our call usually is an hour, but because of AI, we were on the phone for, Lynn, how many hours? Lynn? Now you're on mute, Lynn. How many hours?
An hour and a half.
Okay. We are an hour and a half on top of our hour.
Of our half hour, yeah.
That we usually take. So it's just insane what they've learned. But again, it's all about practice. But at least over 48 people opened their accounts in Ecuador just since last week. So it's phenomenal because we got a WhatsApp group of 230 people. So once you open up your account, post it here. So people are excited, people are enthused. You see the different quotes that people are doing. People are going live. Like I've never seen so many lives right now in Ecuador and Mexico because they have the information. I just say to them, even if you have to read it, even if people know that you're reading it, do it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's okay. Okay, read it so that people can say like, wow, man, where are they getting the information? You're not going to start your video. Hey, I got this information from AI. I'm not that smart. No, you're not going to do that.
Of course not.
So that's what's incredible. And what else? Did you learn anything else while you were working on that, Monique?
Well, I learned about the titles that it gives, and I can save it or throw it away. And I can ask it. I didn't do it, but I will ask it to regenerate in a different format, like you did. And it was so easy. And I mean, I just copied the text and pasted it in Facebook. I mean, oh my God, it was so, I was like, Bob was sitting beside me and I said, oh my God, it did it within 10 to 15 seconds. Like I was blown away by, but again, I have to keep practicing. And, you know, John's given us a lot of good tips tonight, and you, Mike, but I have to keep practicing and get comfortable with it. And so what you're saying is I could actually, what it generated for me, right? I could actually say, could you regenerate it in Spanish?
Yes, you could. Well, there's a button that says regenerate response, but you can ask in the chat, you could just say regenerate it in Spanish, regenerate it in French, regenerate it in Creole. Oh, no, I tried every language and it works. It really does.
And you can say not regenerate, but translate. So it
Yes,
gives you the same one in the new language.
Okay.
And my understanding from talking with other people is that its language translation is excellent.
better than Google. My Spanish people say it's better than Google.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because I know when I do Google and I translate English to French and I check the French, sometimes I'm going, oh my God, you know, like you really have to know the language when you're doing that in Google, because sometimes it just doesn't make sense. But if you're doing it in Spanish or Creole or something that you don't know, then it can actually be dangerous. So if this one's better, then that's a good thing.
You know, the greatest thing about it is that, you know, when we say bring value to the people that are following you, sometimes it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be about Max. Sometimes it could be about something that you've learned, something that you could teach people. And so this is why with this AI chat, you got a question? You got a question? Oh yeah? Okay. All right. So she says she didn't see my upper torso, so she came and fixed the video. Okay, Lynn. What did I say here? What was I saying?
You were saying that it doesn't always have to be about Max. You can share other things with people on another topic.
Yes. So for an example, you could ask him, you could ask it, you know, could you share with me 3 tips on becoming a better communicator, right? To be better in communication, something that has to do with Max, but is not about Max, but is going to help you build the Max business, because people are going to start sharing, oh, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. It's like having a joke. It's like Eric Asari on steroids sometimes, with a lot of his great posts that I steal from him and I add something to it or I delete something to it, and we're having success, both of us, but I changed the post. So John, I'm going to go back to John, is that I love now that I know I can take any post and put it in there, and you say, could you reformulate it? Oh no, let me go to Eric, because I don't want to steal his thunder. Eric Asari, why don't you share with people what you do?
Okay. So one of the things that I do is, like, when I put a quote, I mean, well, I just started this last week. I just found out last week is that.
Hey, Manu just started this yesterday. Don't feel bad. Or today.
Yep.
Good for you, Monique. Good for you. So
Thanks.
I would say that explain in a fun way this quote. And then, you know, I put in the quote and then it comes up with a funny way. And then I say the same things, explain in terms of personal development, the quote. And it does that in another way. So it's just amazing, the things that, you know, it does. And I'm very, very excited about it. Yeah. So I think last week was that I tried it first time. I used a John Maxwell quote, and I have another one coming up tomorrow, which is a sign that John Maxwell says he has on his desk, and he looks at it every morning. So that's what, you know, I'll be quoting from. So in addition to the pictures, I also use the words, and yeah, it's interesting. And then talking about the translation, which I think Mike, you mentioned earlier in Creole. I mean, I think last 2 weeks I wrote something and I asked it to translate into one of the Ghanaian dialects. And, you know, it came up in the dialect that I speak, and some of the words that you use, I don't even know those words. So it's like, what is this? Yeah, wow.
It
Yeah,
becomes too formal.
It's very
Yeah.
impressive.
it is impressive. It is.
The translations are really good.
Yep.
I am connected with several Spanish-speaking people on LinkedIn, and there's this one doctor that posts some interesting stuff. And I copy the text, throw it into CHAT GPT, and say, "Give me a translation into English." And it did that. And actually, I did it 2 days ago. And I said, "Okay, can you redo it in a more understandable way?" So it took the English and improved the English in terms of readability for an English audience.
Hmm.
And it was technical stuff to do with medical science.
Wow.
And I put that out in a post that you can look at. I think I'm not sure whether I did it today or Friday, but anyway. And it talks about the AMPK pathway. Oh, switch anybody?
Exactly. Exactly.
And the other thing is, I think we mentioned it last night, but I know it's really big in Ecuador because we've got a lot of doctors that can prescribe our product in Ecuador. They really like to elaborate on infuse and ATP and some of the ingredients. And like Lynn said earlier, they used an example of the Celgevity, the 12 synergetic product. Sorry, yeah, you know,
Ingredients.
ingredients. And so one guy in Ecuador wrote the 12 ingredients that Max has in the Celgevity, and it asked AI, "Can you elaborate on the 12? Why we need to take these ingredients?" And it spit out exactly same thing as what the website does, but even more elaborating in Spanish. And then they took it in English and they posted that on their website. And he was saying to me today that he got over 85 people asking him about the product.
Wow.
So I'm going to try that this week. As soon as I try it, I'm going to send it to John and say, "Hey, John, what do you think about this?" Because we need to put that out there. If we can put, this is why you need to take our Celgevity. Not only does it have ribosine technology, but this is all the other 12 ingredients and what it does to your body. And they did it in Spanish. So I thought that was amazing. You know, I'm not a product person to go online and not to do it every day. No, like Fraser Brooks said it once. He said, post about your product once a week. Do 3 value posts once a week. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you're bringing value posts. But anything like what Eric Asari does, John Hobbs does, Monique does, Lynn does, just posts that makes people feel good, humorous, so that people can start connecting with you and asking questions about what you do. I'll share an example. I connected with the person about 2 weeks ago. The guy bought some wood from us. And then we started talking, blah, blah, blah. I said, "Listen, let's connect on Facebook so that when you know when I'm going to have my firewood, I'm going to be able to sell it or start delivering." Okay, no problem. And so this morning, not this morning, Sunday morning, he WhatsApped me and he said, "Listen, can you let me know when the next presentation here is? I'd like to know more about your business." Okay, now notice, if this is my regular Facebook, but I also, when I did send in my Facebook to connect, once we connected, I sent him my Instagram. I sent him my Mike Lebrun page. So that teaches us that once you're connected with somebody, you might as well, Monique, get him to say, "Hey, listen, if you want to follow me also more, send him your Monroe page, send him your Instagram, send him your LinkedIn." It's all about, people will follow you on different social media for different reasons. Okay. And this is why, for me, and this is my decision, and I want you to make your own. But for me, if you take a look at, I've got thousands of views on different videos on my Mike Lebrun compared to my Facebook Mike and Lynn Lebrun. Why? Because it's a page I've advertised, and it's like it's hundreds of thousands of views. So I've got 2,000 people following me. So when I go live, that Mike Lebrun has more people following me when John takes it. Sometimes after a presentation, we'll have 20, 30 views. Compared to my regular Facebook, sometimes I have 5 or 6 views. I've seen more, but the average is 5 or 6 on 5,000 people. Why? Because a lot of those people I don't know, and the algorithm is not the same as a page. So if you're going to connect with people on social media and they're connecting, there's no harm in saying to you, "Hey, by the way, I just wanted to tell you, if you want to follow me on other social media, these are my links." So make sure you have already a preset. And here's the thing: if you want to have a phrase or a paragraph, you might say to AI, I'd like to send these links to my prospects on social media so they can follow me. Can you do a paragraph on top of that? And it does do it. And then you have to reformulate it, but it can do anything that you want. It's also, you know, people like me, I'm not good with grammar. You know, I'm not a Chabaleddi, I'm not a Monique Montgomery, I'm not a Lynn Lebrun, I'm not certainly not a John Hobbs. But this thing doesn't, it maybe makes mistakes, maybe I don't see them, but I give it to Lynn and Lynn says, okay, no, it's perfect, go ahead. Sometimes I give it to Monique Montgomery and she says, okay, go ahead. So it's really, it brings value to people. So I'm going to give you an assignment. Number one assignment is, I know in the chat, somebody just put it in there. They did it before me. OpenAI.com. That's OpenAI.com. That's to open up an account. Because a lot of you are going to be on social media listening to this. www.openai.com. Number one. Number two is I want you to go to it and ask the questions that you, to really get yourself familiarized, is spend 15 minutes a day minimum. That's your assignment, 15 minutes a day asking different questions. And the more you do it, the better you are going to get. But you're not going to get better if you don't try, okay? 15 minutes a day. And after that, 3 is you're going to do a post, just a post, not a value post, just a post, a saying or a quote, okay? And that's going to be 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, and OpenAI or CHAT GPT can share with you posts on a daily basis. It doesn't cost anything, and it's easy to do, and you're not behind a camera, and you're not going, I can't do a live. That's okay. And then if you're doing Max seriously, I'm going to give you a 4th assignment, okay? That 4th assignment is either to go live or to do a value post, okay? To go live on a value post or to write a value post. Something like, here's 3 reasons why you want to join network marketing. Here's 3 reasons, 3 tips why you want to be an entrepreneur. That's another one that you want to do OpenAI. Tips on why you want to become an entrepreneur. Really good value that you're going to bring to people. And when you bring people value like that, people respect you and say, whoa, if you like what you, this is how you finish. This is how I finish now. If you like what you heard, please follow, like, and share and comment. Please like, follow, share, and comment. That's it. You've got to have a hook. The hook to me is whatever value you bring. The top 3 tips why joining network marketing. The top 3 tips why you want to become an entrepreneur. Top 3 tips why you want to start taking our product. Top 3 tips. I like 3 tips, 4 tips, 5 tips. I like to keep the videos below 2 minutes if you can, or 90 seconds if you're doing Instagram, because it brings value. And people, people are fast these days. I don't know if it's just me, but for me, if I'm watching a video, if I like the first 10 seconds, I'm going to look at it. If I don't like the first 10 seconds, I'm out of there. How many people are like me? Right? First 10 seconds, man, you got my attention. If I like it, and I'm not talking about dancing, I'm talking about value. So does anybody have any more tips of what they're using AI for? Please speak and share how you're doing it. It's open to everyone.
Okay, so Mike, I think before we came out, yeah. So today, one of the things that I did, I asked AI, how can I ask a prospect if they are open to taking a look at the business opportunity in network marketing? And then he gave me that. And then after that, I said, okay. I said, sure, here are the 5. Then I said, can you come up with 5 other ways of asking the same question? 5 different ways. And it came up with different ways of, are you open to taking a look at the business? Yeah. So it's, it's amazing, the things that,
Now, Eric, how long have you been using AI for? How many weeks or days have you been using AI?
Less than a month. And I don't go on it every day. I mean,
no?
Less than a month, no.
And again, that's an assignment. Try to go every day on it for 15 minutes. Create a habit. 15 minutes. I'll
do that. Yeah.
It's really, really worthwhile. And sometimes, because it keeps all your messages or that you've done on the left-hand side, the one you want to keep, the one you don't, delete. So you can go back to them and you can always ask more questions, and it keeps it in the file. That's what I love about it, in the same file.
Yeah.
So it's really, it's a piece of genius. That's what it is. Whoever owns it, whoever decided to do this, it's a piece of genius. It made my life. It made Lynn's life. a lot easier because see, when she has a pen in her mouth like this, Lynn, that means she's building a PowerPoint.
Yeah.
That's what she's doing.
Yeah.
She's building a PowerPoint for me now. Does anybody have any more
Yeah.
comments or questions before we close off the call? It's 45 after 7.
Well, we have a new fellow from Nigeria, and I think Nigeria was the place where it all started.
Ghana started, but Nigeria, yes, we've got incredible things happening. Is this Felix Carlos?
Um, I'm gonna say his name, and I'm just going Musti.
Mustafa.
Mustafa.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mustafa.
thank
Yeah.
you, thank you.
There's a Mustafa right there. Hey, Mustafa,
Yeah.
how are you? Congratulations and welcome aboard. You know, but
We
the
can't
cool-
hear you.
It's mute. It's mute.
I'm fine. I'm just new. Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Welcome.
But he's up at
All right,
midnight
thank you,
for
sir.
us, so that's pretty good.
Yeah,
Wow.
yes, he's up at midnight. And so this is just one of the pieces that will take your business to the next level. And again, yes, I'm going to
Wow.
repeat. Somebody just asked me to repeat it, so I'm going to repeat it for you. Hold on. Where did I put that? No. All right. First is open an account. Number 2, spend 15 minutes a day doing the 15 minutes a day on OpenAI or Chat GPT. 3, post a daily post or a quote. And 4, either go live or post a value post for people to see 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, or Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, or Saturday, whatever the case may be. I don't like to post anything on weekends. I like to do Monday to Friday. That's it. That's done. And family time or whatever on weekends. But you know what? Here's the thing. If you're serious about the business, very often I will still quote a post on Saturday and Sunday because I've got the time, or I'll do a quick, 15, 30-second video so that people can see it. But what's weird though is that I went to Cheba and Ann's this weekend. I got to say, we had an amazing time. Cheba, what kind of drink did I have? This, Monique, you're going to laugh at this, but I had my first, what Cheba? Was it?
Strawberry tequila.
No. Everybody knows I drink
Coffee.
Coffee, yeah. Like
no, not a coffee.
a special
Capi-
yes.
A what?
A special espresso, my own creation. Some hot chocolate powder, cream. What else?
Espresso. Yeah.
Yeah,
Coffee.
Espresso and some Baileys to make
and
it.
some Baileys, okay?
The
Oh,
band.
wow, really? See.
It was the first time ever. He has a cappuccino machine. And I said, let me just taste it. And I tasted it, okay? I just want to show you. Sometimes it has nothing to do with Max, okay? This is serious. I did a 23-minute second video on Instagram. If you go take a look at it, I got something like 80 views, 80 whatever views and 70 likes and all that. But I started conversations with people today that I knew were connected to me, but I also got people started following me on that specific post. What do you think about that? That's nuts. That is nuts. Has nothing to do with Max. And here's what I said on the post, okay? Please go see it. I just said, hey, this is Mike Lebrun. I am doing my first cappuccino with Mr. Cheba Ledby. It's whatever cappuccino where we put some milk in there or some cream. We put some chocolate and then we put some Bailey's Irish cream. And then you see me mixing it and he's frotting the thing. And I'm like, I was impressed. I tasted and I'm like, wow. I don't want to get a machine because man, wow. Woo, I was like, whoa, I'm awake, man. It's powerful. And I drank 4 in 24 hours, right, Cheba? 4. I drank 4.
4 or 5, yeah.
Oh my God.
As
But I
if
get-
Mike needs Bailey's first thing in the morning and coffee. And
I
you were
had
so-
I had
plus his
Bailey's.
ATC.
I
Oh
had
my
Bailey's
God.
at 7 a.m. Okay, 8
Oh,
a.m. I had a
no.
Bailey's.
And if you add ATP on top of that, you'll be unstoppable.
Oh, no,
TVs.
he's already unstoppable. We don't need the Baileys in there.
So the reason I want to bring that up, please, I want to challenge you. I want to give you a 5th. That's what I did in Ecuador today. Okay.
That
The
Bailey.
fifth one is do a post, one post this week of something that could start a conversation. Okay. The post that I had the best results is I stole from Eric. Eric did a post and the post said, was your first job, right, Eric?
Right.
I went a step further. I said, what was your first job? And did you like it or love it? How many people saw my post? Well, I got an announcement to tell you, I got over 100 people who liked it and commented on the different social media that I did just on Facebook, over 100. And I'm starting to talk to people that I'd never talked to. Some of them are real estate agents, okay? That we just became friends on Facebook because I knew somebody who knew somebody. I had pitched him on one time or another about Max, and now we're re-talking. It's about rebranding, not rebranding. It's about repositioning yourself so people can start talking to you. And I gotta tell you, it's working. So Eric, thank you, buddy. And I hope that you do even more posts this week because I like to steal stuff from people, which is legal here. John, you're amazing. Guys, I'm telling you, between me, John, Monique, Lynn, that I see all of you posting every day. Some of you could, Fran Laws, Delia, you could take some of that stuff and now put it in Chat GPT and say, can you repurpose it? Can you, John, what do you say? I say repurpose it, but you say something different.
Well, you could say something like reword it to suit my style.
There you go. Okay. So it's good because you're going to find your own self. And then this is what it is. This is really cool. You can ask Chat GPT, I want to brand myself, give me ideas. I want to brand myself, give me ideas. Okay. Like Fran Laws, you could say, I'm branding myself as a seniorpreneur. Could you give me some taglines? I'm telling you guys, I told you that Lynn and I are just branding yourself and we're going to make it live on June 1st. I told you that a couple of weeks ago. And we've got some more branding now of decisions of how we're going to go about this because they give us so much ideas that it's like, I'm like, oh my gosh, everything's good. And I'm like, we're going to do it. I just want to take the time and get the right stuff out of the way. So everybody here can just take their business and even explode it even more in the next 6 to 12 months. You won't even be the same person as you are because people are going to see you a different person on social media because you're going to be posting one post 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, a saying or quote, and people are going to want to follow you because you're doing it every single day. That's it. All right. So that's our goal. Does anybody have any comments or questions before we close out the call? We're before our hour is done. All right. So let's take a picture, family picture. Everybody's on. I love it. I love it. All right. Perfecto. Even Stan God Hansen is on the call. Can you imagine? All right. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. And Dennis, stay on the phone. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to talk to you. Okay. Thank you guys. Love you. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Mike.
Bye.
Ciao.
Night.
Bye-bye. Dennis, stay there.